You're now kicking it with Brother Smalls. Greet each day with gratitude. I am so glad to have Kim Hampton here with me on the show. You know Kim, she's a WNBA legend and trailblazer. She's an actor, singer. She's a model. She does a lot of different things, and I'm so glad she took out some time to kick it here with me. Kim, how are you?
I'm doing great, and thank you for having me.
Yes, the last time we were here, or I interviewed you, it was in person, and we were actually in the lockdown, or just kind of getting out of the lockdown with COVID and everything. And you were saying, "Hey, it's just a matter of time, and we're going to get through this." And two and a half years later, hey, we're back here.
I think it was before then.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it was before then because I
No,
remember
Kim,
it.
because you
I,
know what? Actually, if you go back to the interview, you were saying something about the lockdown. You were saying, "Hey, we're gonna get through this," and because I did my homework, I went back and I looked at the
okay,
interview, and I was like, "Yeah, that's you said that," but
then I trust you. Then I trust you on that. You know, just coming out. It just seemed like it was before that. Like I didn't like when I think back on that interview, I don't
yeah,
recall COVID. Like it didn't seem.
yeah.
But that's a testament to you, and that's just a testament to how wonderful and comfortable you made things.
Oh
During
gosh.
that time. So
We have fun. We have so much fun.
yeah.
I'm hoping that have you sang with other interviewers since then?
No, probably not.
Okay,
I
good,
don't
good, good.
know.
That was awesome. That was awesome. You have a beautiful voice. Is there any new music happening? Are you doing any new music now?
I'm not just yet,
Okay.
but I'm at a place. I just had a conversation with a friend. He's a musician. He's on tour with a famous one with Najee, and he's a singer. He's there in New York, and
Mhm.
we are trying to, or he's helping me define what that is, define what new music is for me at this stage of the game in life, age and relevancy to music and everything and what I like to do. So, as you know, I live in Portland, Oregon now, and so I have gotten on the music scene. So I'm doing quite a few gigs here and there, but I'm doing predominantly jazz. I would like to do some other stuff,
Mhm.
but when it comes to recording, it's kind of like, okay, what do I record? Like, who am I, and what do I like to record? I love jazz. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but I love R&B and I love neo soul and I love, that just different genres and things like that. So, he's trying to connect me with some musicians that hopefully that we can get together and just have some jam sessions and maybe writing sessions and just to kind of help me figure that out.
Oh, that's an interesting journey. That's an interesting journey because you have such a range, and but you're right. It's like you've had so many different experiences, and you've kind of delved in so many different genre, and so it's like, how do you present that, and what does that mean, and how does it become authentic and authentic to you, and then authentic to the audience. So that's
Mhm.
cool. That's really really cool. All right, so I mean, you made the move to Oregon, and tell us about the move. But tell us about. I mean, you're with Nike now, right?
Yeah. So I moved to Oregon because I was hired with Nike. I actually came into Nike through the Nike WIN program. It's an acronym WIN for Women in Nike. And it started in 2020. Back in 2020, not only were we dealing with, the world was dealing with COVID, but as a nation, we were also dealing with civil unrest and several murders by police officers and things like that. And so Nike decided that they wanted to do something to address the inequities of hiring practices for people of color.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever looked at the statistics for college coaches, for example, or professional coaches, and so We just know that in certain, well, in several, in most industries, there's hiring inequities, and so Nike started that program, and they were targeting former WNBA players, and predominantly of color, but we're not all of color. And so we are in our fifth cohort, and so we are at 78. Nike has hired 78 former professional athletes, and I said former professional athletes because now the fifth cohort, they also included USA Track um, members, and then they're going to hire another cohort in 2025, and that's going to include U.S. soccer players and things like that. So, or yeah, so it's really really cool. It's giving us women predominantly, but not 100% of color opportunities that we might not have had, um, just according to just traditional methods of hiring.
Wow, that's interesting. And there's so much swirling around regarding diversity, and what has been the impact of that program? I mean, I have my views as it relates to diversity. I believe diversity makes us stronger, but uh, tell me about that program and the impact you've been seeing from the program.
But when you say impact, do you mean personal impact? Do you mean uh, impact, on society? What do you mean? Like, give me.
What comes to mind? I mean, I know that it might be a personal impact,
Okay.
but have you seen because I used to be the deputy city manager, HR director for the city of New Rochelle, and I also was the village administrator in Pelham, New York. I was the first Black to have that post, and I know one of the best things I had for those types of positions was just to be seen in that position. I know encouraged others. So and I knew it. I mean, you kind of met people and you interviewed people and people came to see you and that sort of thing. What have you seen, either personal or just kind of in a broader perspective, the impact?
Well, the impact hasn't been an external impact, shall I say.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as company wide, it's not where we want it to be. I think a lot of people have heard of it. I mean, when you think of Nike, Nike has over 70, between 75 and 80,000 employees worldwide. And I'm sure, I mean, I know a lot of employees have heard of the Nike Win program, but they are, and I had a conversation just recently, I think Thursday, with one of the co-founders of that program, and she was telling me, and we were talking, and I was speaking candidly. I felt that the company isn't utilizing us like we need to be utilized. I feel that with all of our experiences, I feel that we could be or should be doing more to utilize all of our experiences, and each and every one of us has our own story, as former professional athletes. But so I think it's I think the company's trying to figure it out, how to utilize us and where to best utilize us. And personally, I feel that it's just been awesome because for me, this is like my first corporate American job. And so just the opportunity to learn and to grow and to understand this matrix of Nike. I mean, this is a phenomenal company. I mean, they are doing everything from, they have, from the sustainability effects and on the world and the population, just everything. And it's kind of like, whoa, first you thought that it's just about sneakers and t-shirts, but no, it is so much more. And I happen to work in the area of marketing, so just learning so much. And this is a company that allows you to be a part of, and they take part of. There's so many networks like Ben, and just, I mean, it's so vast and so incredible. So for me, it's been truly amazing to add a new chapter of life, and especially again at this stage of the game, because, like, I'm like 61, and so for me to start in corporate America at 61 is kind of like unheard of. So, that's very diverse. I'm just super excited about where it takes me.
I'm glad for you, and I'm glad that they have the likes of you and others to kind of help them in that area. It's really, really important. I think diversity is so important. You know, when you think of the different perspectives and the different viewpoints that it brings you, oftentimes in the corporate world, there have been companies that have declined because they did not open themselves up to maybe new technology or new voices or new perspectives and that sort of thing. So it's really, really important. I had a question for you. Um, you know, off camera, we were talking about just a family trip you had. I wanted to kind of ask you about the balance. Again, very busy. You have a corporate position. You have different dates, and you're singing, and you're doing a lot of different things. How do you find the balance, or do you seek the balance between work and family and relationships? And everybody's trying to deal with that. How do you deal with that?
Well, number one, the balance is automatically kept when you talk about families and friendship and stuff because I'm in Portland and no one is here. I'm starting to build a network here,
Yeah.
but so I don't have to worry about that as far as getting out to see your mom and your family members and things like that. But I think it's learning how to prioritize your time. It's learning how to understand what's important to you, and learning how to say no, because sometimes you find yourselves so busy, just being busy, doing stuff, volunteering here, doing that. And I think all of that is wonderful. But again, what's the cost of all of that? And if you're not taking care of yourself, and your family members, we'll just start with stuff. If you're not taking care of yourself, making sure you take time to eat better and to find some way to exercise and things like that, then you can't really take care of anyone. So I think it's understanding all of that first and foremost, and then learning to say no, just having some downtime. And it was really, really good. Nike is really cool with that because one of their, it's really important. It's like they call it maxims, but it's not a maxim. But they have little things like make sport a daily habit, and so they allow you if it's in your work day, and you decide you want to go for a walk or you want to go for a run or go exercise, it's really cool unless you have a meeting or something. But any little free time or spot, you can work out, and they have gyms all over the campus that are free and state of the art and just wonderful and things like that. So, and then they had Wellness Week, which was why I went home to Kentucky to visit my family. And it's a paid week off that Nike gives all of their employees, and it's called Wellness Week. And so, and I just decided, I haven't been home. Usually I probably would have gone to New York. And I was like, you know what, let me go and see my mom. My mom turned 86. I lost my dad a couple years ago. And so I just said, I called my brother, Courtney, and I was like, hey, I get a week off in August. Do you want to go to Kentucky? And so we just kind of started conspiring here. And then we talked to my sister in Kentucky, and we just kind of made it happen. And so we wanted to make sure, that we just got together with Mama, and everything, and got a chance to see her because, she turned 86, and
That's right.
so
It's
yeah.
good. It's good. When did you learn to say no? Was it a circumstance that kind of brought it up that you kind of learned to say, you know what, I gotta dial it back.
Um, yeah, yeah, and no. I think, after a while, and having been a professional athlete, people are always asking you, hey, can you come and speak to my kids? They're doing this, or hey, we're having this event, will you come and be the guest speaker? And a lot of times it's for free, they don't have budget, and things like that. And I've always been the person that's like, okay, I
Yeah.
don't mind, I'll do it.
Right.
Like you checking me out, Kim, hey, can you do this
Yeah.
interview?
Yeah.
Anything,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like, okay, but now I look at it, and if it fits within something, and I'll gauge it. If it feels like something that I want to do, I will. And if it feels like something I don't want to do, and not Sarah, not, and and it depends on if I have something else to do, or if it's kind of like a fuss to fit into my schedule. Like this
Yeah.
was almost a fuss to fit into my schedule because, I was kind of like, I work during the week, and things like that. And so normally I don't want to do it on the weekends, but I was on vacation last week,
Yeah.
when we thought potentially, and I was like, I'm not doing it during my vacation, and stuff. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I just said, you know what? I go back to work on Monday, and you're my second interview today. And I was like, if you can do it on Sunday, I'm good. If not, then I don't, I might not know because I'm not going to stress myself, trying to make it happen for you. And
Yeah.
not, I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
No, I don't take it
That's
that
what,
way. I
yeah,
don't
and
take it
that,
that way.
but that's how you have to sometimes take it, because it's like you'll break up your day doing something, like I really wanted to be out, even today, and I was like, shoot, I should have scheduled this earlier because I needed to return something. I need to get some food in the house, for the week, and stuff. And I'm just like, darn, I should have scheduled it earlier. But then I was like, I don't know how I feel because I got in late last night, and I was like, I don't know if I want to get up in the morning and have to now all of a sudden do this. So it was just kind of like, huh. All right, I was like, okay,
Well, I feel a bit special, right? I got the
you
interview,
should
and
look. You
I'm and the
should.
last, I owe you, and the last time I had you singing, so I kind of feel pretty good about
That's
that.
right.
So, wow. I wanted to ask you, you've accomplished a lot, you've done a lot. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment?
It's impossible to say what your greatest accomplishment is. I
Okay.
mean, because at certain points of your life, everything that you've done is your greatest accomplishment. It's like
Mhm.
when I got a scholarship to college, for example.
Mhm.
That was my greatest accomplishment. And then life goes on, and then you become this in college, and you become that, and then afterwards, then you get drafted into the pros. Then you become a mom. Then like so. It's 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 an accumulation of so many of those accomplishments that
Mm.
makes life great. So I think it's just the fact that you've superseded life and problems and so many things, and we're able and in a position to accomplish so many things. So I think it's an accumulation. It's not just one thing.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. It's an accumulation, and when you think about that accumulation, it's been a ride in a sense, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you've done a lot of different things, and so my question to you is, how do you kind of morph or change to do those things? Because sometimes we get stuck. We get stuck.
Yeah, I think it's understanding um that really the present moment is really all we have. And because if you're thinking about what you did, or in the past, anything that you did in the past, anything that you did yesterday, or any of those accomplishments, I mean, you can think about them and be happy about them and grateful for them. But if they're driving your today, then it's not relevant. And then if you're thinking about stuff that you want to happen, or you want, in the future, those things haven't even come to pass. So I think it's just understanding that, you make the best of what you want today to do today, because every day that because it's what you do every single day that's going to shape your future. The past is already gone. It's nothing that you can change and do about that. But it's how we think and what we say. I always tell people, like, words have power. And so be careful what you say. And our body and our cells, they don't know the difference between what's true and not true. And um we can think about something and have amazing sensations, and like we can really feel them. It's kind of like, if you close your eyes and then you just imagine somebody cutting a lemon in half and squeezing lemon juice underneath your tongue. Like that just gave me that sensation. That gave me that sensation. I don't know if it did you, but we don't even have lemons in the picture anywhere here. So that
Yeah.
just goes to show you how powerful the mind is. And so I think it's just understanding and trying to find a positive space and trying to be in the moment. And just knowing that we were created to evolve. I was a basketball player, and I think that's one of the hardest things as a former professional athlete or as a performer professional, anything that you've done. I mean, we have a tendency to hang on to our titles and our accolades and things like that. And so I think it's being brave enough to say, it's just like me now, being in this position. And it's so funny because I could be everyone's grandmother in the job, because I swear Nike hires people at 12. I swear. It's so funny. And I'm like, it's like a big huge college campus. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, there has to be a way to do something here on the computer. People, oh yeah, all you have to do is such and such, and I'm just like, okay, and it's just so funny. But I just believe in being transparent, because you don't know what you don't know, and I'm sure there's so many things that I could do, or that they wouldn't know how to do. So I just try to give myself some grace. So I think it's having grace and knowing that we are meant to evolve. That things are, was song, everything must
Look
change.
at that. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. Love it. Love it. God, sing it again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to think about, evolving and changing and taking advantage of the moment in the present, I want to thank you. All right. I wrote this book about 3 years ago, and I asked you, hey, can I use your quote in the book? And you said yes. And actually, it's tweet 365 thought provoking tweets to ignite your brilliance and power. And on day 209, and I'll do this if I didn't send you one of these. Did I send you one of these?
You did not.
Okay, I'm gonna send one to you. So on day 209, it says, "Stop dimming your light for those that can't handle your shine." Kim Hampton, Women's National Basketball Association legend, musician, actress, model, and spokesperson, right? When I sat down for an interview with Kim, she explained her mantra: stop dimming your light for those that can't handle your shine. She said people who are really good at something sometimes scale it back or don't fully display their prowess to accommodate others as an attempt to fit in. Others who may feel inadequate due to their physical appearance may also scale it back for the same reason. The need to fit in or be accepted is so strong, people downplay their gifts, talents, and abilities. I I go on with more, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I thought I gave you. I gotta check my records. I gotta check my records because.
No, I promise you, you didn't. I would have remembered that. But
All right.
and just to piggyback on that,
Mhm.
it's predominantly, I feel, well, I'm a woman, but it's predominantly women who
Mhm.
find themselves in those situations, having to dim the light a little bit, scale it back, or and just try to fit in. That if you're growing up and you're really, really pretty, or you want to dim it or dumb it down because you don't want other girls or other people to dislike you because you're pretty, or if you're super smart. You don't want, this goes both ways, I mean, it goes both ways for guys and girls, but I'm just saying, people are super smart. They don't want people judging them or thinking that they're not cool just because they happen to be smart. And so they'll, you know, just get mediocre grades, and things like that. And it's just like if you're on a team and you're the superstar on the team, well, a lot of times there are people that are jealous of you because you're good, and you have natural talent and you might put work in as well. So it's a real thing. Yeah.
It's a real thing. It's something that we have to address, and I think it's the difference between humility and pride. Quite honestly, I think um, being humble is actually doing exactly what God has gifted you to do. So if you can sing, or you're an excellent basketball player, football player, what have you, if you're super smart, I think it's humble to actually exercise those gifts. I think it's somewhat prideful to not do that, and so no, that's definitely a key. That's definitely a key moving forward. And I appreciate that. I'm sending you this book. I'm telling you, Kim, if I'm gonna go back to my records, if I have a post, a post-it that I sent it, I'm gonna send that with it too. So
I know because I'm like, look with my big move and everything,
uh-huh,
here and stuff like that. I'm just
uh-huh.
like I don't recall it, but
Okay, that sounds okay. Okay, that's a
so
little bit
I'm
better.
I'll scale it back, but I don't recall it at all. Yeah, I don't
Oh
recall that. I don't
gosh,
recall it at
yeah.
all. But you, oh, you could have. I don't know. And
Okay,
yeah,
no,
and
thank
look,
you, thank
listen,
you.
and I'll say it. I am so sorry. That was stupid, and I just
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good, 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 good. Um, the term going back to your first love, what does that mean?
uh going back to your first love. I would probably say, well, okay. Well, first of all, I feel that we are all blessed with individual gifts and talents that are unique to us. I mean, some people can sing, some people can dance, and I mean, this is natural talent and gift. Some people are just natural scorers or rebounders. Some people are just great with numbers, math. Some people are incredible writers, are incredible musicians, or can compose. We are blessed with our gifts and talents, and those of us, and I think we we start to use them, but I think we sometimes get away from it because it might not be as interesting. Or say, for example, if you're a musician, like let's take Alicia Keys. I saw her Broadway play. It was called Hell's Kitchen, when I was there not too long ago. And it was kind of like her, maybe not wanting to play the piano as much, and her mom stayed on her. Her dad is a great piano player and things like that. And it took a few things in life to kind of make it sink in. So that was kind of like going back to your first love, but it could be a first gift. But I think it's and I'm dragging this on, but I because sometimes we might not love our gifts and our talents. But going back to your first love, I think is like, jeez. I think it's, I mean, because every day it could be something different. Going back to your first love is just like revisiting something that's comfortable. I think it's going back to it's kind of like when you have a family member, you kind of fell out, or it might be your brother or your sister. You kind of fell out with your brother or sister or something like that. You haven't talked for years, but then something happens, and you guys are able to talk, and it's like going back and going in the house and sitting on the couch and it feeling good. It's kind of like that.
Gotcha.
It's like remembering what used to be good.
Interestingly enough, when you say remembering what used to be good, I'm wondering, again, you were a WNBA trailblazer and legend, and you played for the New York Liberty. I wanted to ask you, what type of reception do you get when you go back? Is it something, because you hear, sometimes you hear about the horror stories where former players are treated like they're not treated well. I'm just going to say that they're not treated well. They're not welcome back. What's how is it when you go back to the MSG and go back to the Liberty?
Well, when I go back, I mean, of course, everything has changed. All of the workers, the attendants, that work in the building, security, and things like that. Those that were there when I was there, they've all retired and things like that, because some of them were older, and it might be a handful that are there.
Mm-hmm.
So everything has just kind of changed, and so the new regime, they might not know who you are and things like that. So but even like when I go to Liberty games now, there are some fans, of course, that definitely remember. So it's always warm, it's always welcoming, and it's really really cool. And but now the WNBA has new fans. The New York Liberty, every team has new fans because it's just growing. So yeah, it's kind of cool, and I think it's really cool. most teams, a lot of teams, I won't say most teams, but there are a few teams that have an annual like a reunion where they bring
Yeah,
back former players and they have
yeah.
them come on the court and things like that. And they might give a spiel about them, and that educates the new fans on, the team that they love. So it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think some sports teams really embrace the former players, and I think it really speaks volumes to the organization when they do that. Because I think the last time we talked, you had mentioned something about uh, the Trailblazers and of the WNBA league, and the importance of there being a recognition, not only during a game, but also a tangible recognition of what you guys laid down. And so I'm wondering, has there been any movement? I mean, you had mentioned something about playing 3 years and you weren't able to get a pension and that sort of thing. Has there been any movement, any discussion regarding paying homage in a real way to the Trailblazers of the league?
No.
Oh, you heard that, America? No. Come on, folks. Come on. Come on. We got to do better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We got to do better. We got to do better. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that because I think more should be done, especially for what you've done for the league. Quite honestly,
Yeah,
Kim, when I
I
was
think the
actually,
league office I think the league office can do a better job with hiring former players.
mhm,
I mean, because when you talk about hiring former players, that you're hiring people that are invested in the league, people that were part of the league, so they want to see the league succeed.
yeah,
And versus hiring someone out of college who really doesn't, it's just a job for them.
mhm.
But it was a lifestyle and a livelihood for us. It was our passion. It was, more than just a job. So,
Wow, wow. That's a great segue because I wanted to ask you if you could give me a word or a phrase that would describe your basketball journey. What would that be?
amazing.
Amazing.
Just wonderful. Again, I mean, just not having to tell the whole life story, but just I didn't start playing organized sports until my freshman year of high school. And I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, and women's basketball wasn't big. It wasn't on television. I graduated from high school in 1980, so we didn't know what schools to go to. There was no social media, no cell phones, and things like that. So fast forward to my senior year of high school, here I am, the top player in the state of Kentucky, and not knowing what school to go to or why. And I chose Arizona State. And that was a wonderful, I mean, it was Arizona State was awesome. I mean, it was really, really cool. We made it to the Sweet 16 2 of my 4 years, but I could have gone to Tennessee, which won the champ. They won the national championship 2 times in my college tenure. I could have gone to USC, UCLA, just other schools, Old Dominion, which was prominent at that time as well. So I could have, but I didn't understand the politics of basketball, nor did my coach, my high school coach, and things like that. So um, me choosing Arizona State because the weather was warm and the campus was big and beautiful
Yeah.
was really, really cool. I was a Sun Angel Athlete of the Year. I'm still the all-time leading scorer and rebounder, male or female, in the history of the school. After graduating in over 30, yeah, in 1984. And so, and then to have gone on to Europe and to have played abroad, like 6 years in Spain, 4.5 years in Italy, year in France, year in Japan, and I was still playing when they started the WNBA, and to have been drafted in the elite draft with the '96 Olympic team players, to have been, drafted in that class, and to have played, the first 3 years, it was just amazing, and then to have done all of the other wonderful things that I've had a chance to do in life. It's just been amazing. So, I'm super grateful.
Definitely. Sounds like it. What's next, Kim?
You know what? I don't, I definitely, okay, I'm gonna say I don't know everything that's next, but,
Yeah.
um, I think I want to do more with speaking. I love speaking to people, and I love motivating people to help them, um, realize their strength, help them to realize that the choices that we make have way more effect in our lives than we think they do, and how we can learn to control our controllables. We can't control everything. You can't control, whether a coach plays you or not, but you can control how many shots you're getting up, and you can control watching film and learn how to make better decisions on the court. You can control being a better teammate and cheering everyone on, and things like that. And those are the things. So just helping people to realize, just their own power within themselves. So I definitely I want to start doing more of that. I want to write a book. I want to write a book, about something along those lines, or a book or books. And I definitely want to record something. I want to do that. So those are the things that I would say, are on my horizon. I want to get better, with my corporate position, and learning more and advancing and things like that. So those are the things that are. I'm actually, and also, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna, on October the 1st. I'm actually scheduled to have a double knee replacement. And everything. So, I'm looking forward to, being able to just bend down and squat and walk up and down stairs without being in pain, or just walk in general without being in pain and stuff. So, just, a boost there in health as well. So, those are some of the things that are on the horizon
That's
right now.
beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm here with the beautiful and bright Kim Hampton, and she's spending some time with me. I'm so appreciative. Guys, I want you to subscribe to Kicking It with Brother Small. The show delivers content dedicated and designed to inform, uplift, elevate, and inspire. Kim, is there anything else that you want to talk about? Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience?
No, I think you've covered it all. I think we've covered it all, actually. Yeah.
But we didn't sing though, Kim. But I'm not gonna ask you to sing. We didn't sing.
Uh,
We didn't
I
sing.
sang a little bit.
You did. You did. You did. You did. You did. Well, I mean, I'm so glad to see you, and I'm so glad that things are working out well for you in Oregon. And when I get out there, I definitely want to come check you. And actually, I know that there's CJ McCullough has a doesn't he have orchids out there, or he has like a winery out there? I think so.
Oh,
Okay, and my guy Mike Phillips is out there, I believe, too.
yeah. I think, well, one of my friends also said, but I think he said lives in, Seattle, maybe the Seattle area, but it's still like only
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
hours away. Yeah, something like
Gotcha, 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 gotcha. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, your afternoon. All right, and for you guys, I want you to do something. I want you to smile, smile, and remember, every heartbeat is grace. Cherish life and spread love, y'all. Peace.